Just Cause 3 is at its strongest when you are pulling off action movie batshit crazy style mayhem. You can shoot the tire of an enemy vehicle to make it flip. You can tether the helicopter chasing you to a building and it goes boom. You can snipe a pilot and watch his jet drop as it loses power. You can tether two jets and watch as they collide mid-air. This is exactly the kind of gameplay that the Just Cause series has identified with as an IP, and I'm happy to see the effort that Avalanche Studios has put into this aspect of the game. The level of freedom you get to just cause mayhem in this game is through the roof. You can get really creative and have fun. I'm just going to place a device on one of your twins. This game gives you a nice variety of tools and weapons and then just lets you go crazy, man. And the way you unlock this stuff is engaging too. You unlock more vehicles and weapons the more challenges you do, and it's great because the challenges are actually way more fun than that of Just Cause 2. The racing, wingsuit challenges and timed destruction events don't get stale, they're varied just enough to keep you going. I completed every one in the game and didn't feel that they were getting repetitive at any point. On top of this, you get these gears at the end of each challenge which help you progress a skill tree. Wingsuit upgrades, more grenades, faster boost for your cars, the game eggs you on to keep playing. Although Just Cause 3 gives you so many racing challenges, it's kind of shot itself in one foot with regards to its potential, because holy shit is the driving in this game a disaster. Most cars feel the same to drive, there's no weight and variation in handling, and if there is, it's extremely minor. Bikes are no fun to ride, helicopters fly weird, boats have no sense of real buoyancy. All this matters because a lot of the carnage and fun in this game relies on these vehicles. Luckily, there's the wingsuit. The only way I enjoyed travelling across the map was with this wingsuit. This is probably the biggest upgrade for me from the previous games. It both feels and looks good. I mean, look at this shit. Look how cool this looks. Like flying straight into the action like Batman. It's a great tool to use to scout and discover new locations. You can maneuver and fit into tighter spaces that you wouldn't be able to do with a vehicle. It's a refreshing new way to let the player explore the map. However, that is where my main problem lies with this game. The map. Allow me to explain. Here's the map. This part is okay, this part's also alright, and this part's fine. But this part here, there is absolutely nothing to see. It is just a vast, open emptiness. Meanwhile, look at Just Cause 2. There's just something to see in every corner. This is what good open world design should be like. The map has to be interesting to explore. There should be something close to something else. And as a result of this, despite Just Cause 2's map being half the size of Just Cause 3, it feels so much bigger. Let me now take you through a tour of Just Cause 2's map per now, and just show you why it feels so alive and breathing compared to Just Cause 3's. You're flying over this mountain and you see a little speck on your minimap. You get closer to see what it is, and it's a small military encampment nestled in the deep jungle. You're swimming through the waters and an NPC boat rides past you. You just finished having a dogfight with a helicopter and boom, somehow you've landed in some fishing village on this coastline. Lights in buildings turn off slowly as the map gets darker and darker. You see some sort of building on an island, and as you get closer, it's a mansion. Lightning strikes as you land your helicopter down to explore it. You hear the deep rumble of a waterfall that these two skyscrapers are built over, and you watch as the water crashes down into the valley below. The game has a much more interesting variation in biomes as well. We've got the snowy regions, got the desert regions, and it masterfully transitions from one to another. As you go from the jungle biome to the mountain, look how the vegetation changes, the snow becomes a bit more apparent, and then the hue of your screen changes too. It is very apparent when you play Just Cause 2 that the environment and map artists in this game took their time to handcraft each point of interest. Meanwhile, in Just Cause 3, I can't help but feel that every town and city were copied and pasted. They all look identical. This lack of detail and attention to the map is where Just Cause 3 falls apart and loses me. Check this out. I saw some city lights in the distance, so I flew over there to explore the area, and it's fake lights. It's literally just lighting effects to give the illusion of more land. And then the game forces me to turn around. I mean, what the fuck? Now, I'd like to talk about the cities. Check out this one in Just Cause 3. It's pretty big, right? Pretty nice, yeah? Looks cool. Now look at Just Cause 2. Look at how much more bigger it is, but it's not just bigger, it's just varied. There's a craftsmanship to how the city's been laid out. And not only that, there are multiple cities in Just Cause 2. And let me remind you, this map is half the size of Just Cause 3's. Half. But look how much bigger it feels and how much more curious it makes you. And it's not just the environment that has this level of detail. Even the vehicles feel so much more inspired and varied than that of Just Cause 3. You can drive an ATV with a gun on it, you can drive a boat with a gun on it, you can even drive a tuk-tuk with a gun on it. All the vehicles have a separate sense of identity, they have a different weight to them, they drive differently, and they all serve a purpose. When you get into a crash with your vehicle, the game switches to sort of a cinematic camera, and the damage done to vehicles is more accurate and realistic. Look at the way this pickup truck is sliding all over the place on this road that's covered in sand. I just don't feel like this level of detail was given to Just Cause 3. Now, I'm not trying to give Just Cause 3 a hard time here. I did enjoy the game. However, I do believe that the comparison to Just Cause 2 is necessary. Although it's clear that Just Cause 3's destruction physics have been given a lot of time, I don't feel like the map received the same level of attention. Yes, it's pretty to look at, but that's not enough for a game which relies on exploration for you to collect and unlock new material. I'd also like to express my frustration with these occasional crashes that the game would go through, and also the fact that it decided to interrupt your gameplay to let you know that you've lost connection in a single player campaign. What the fuck? Let's see here. What else do I want to talk about? Destruction, done. Map, done. Vehicle physics, done. Story. I joke. I'm not going to talk about the story because the story is not why you play these games. It's like saying you want to watch the movie Prisoners for its humour. Nobody plays the Just Cause games expecting a hard-hitting story. So, to conclude, Just Cause 3 is a fun game with great destruction physics that is still fun to play today, almost 10 years after its release in 2015. However, it feels rushed and half-baked at times, and does not fully utilise its potential, unlike its predecessor, which came out in 2010.